All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the big Saturday of the Surf Guitar 101 2026 Festival Weekender back here at the Garden Grove Elks Lodge. Very happy to be back, and it's been working out just great so far. Hope everybody's well rested and hydrated and ready for a long day. It's going to be a good one. We've got so much great stuff. Let's give a big round of applause and thanks to our illustrious leader, Mr. Big Tiki Doo, Jeff Hansen, for keeping this thing rolling since 2008, if you can believe that. Unbelievably. Still going strong. Actually, better than ever, some might say. All right, I am absolutely honored, privileged, blown away to have the opportunity to sit next to a true living legend in many respects, but especially in our little surf music world, Mr. Al Valdez of the original Surfaris.
Thank you very much, thank you. Thanks for the honor.
Now, Al is a true local legend as well. This guy is like Orange County through and through. Born, raised, then went away for a little bit, but eventually came back. It pulled you back, and you really are just like a living embodiment of a Southern California, Orange County kind of guy.
That's true. That is true, yeah. I was in Reno, Nevada for about 17 years.
Yeah, there's some Reno folks in here. And we'll talk about that a little bit, but the great part about that is you were gigging.
I have not stopped in 68 years.
That's 68, folks, 68 years. Now, if you think of anything you're interested in or your craft, and to be able to do it for 68 years of your life is, I mean, what better life could there be, right? All your favorite thing, doing your passion, doing your love. So it's another reason you're such an inspiration, is the fact that you're still going strong, still playing. And how old are you now?
I'll be 79 in September.
Amazing. I was going to get to it later, but we might as well just kind of start with that, because I think it's such a touching thing and it's such a wonderful thing. But these days, your time is primarily spent playing.
What I do is I play for seniors now, so I go to their facilities and I do 1 hour shows of the great music that they remember, and it's truly a gift to see these people light up and sing along with me. And we do the American Songbook. I have an extensive repertoire, so we do a lot of great sing-alongs, and it's the joy of seeing them appreciate that somebody cares still about them, and that's the gift, that's the miracle, and I see miracles every day.
That is so incredible, man. I mean, to give back like that is such a beautiful thing, and especially after such an illustrious career, you know, to be spending your time with that now is just so admirable and such a wonderful thing. I wanted to make sure we mentioned that, because I feel like that's such an important thing, and really gives an indication, the best indication of who you are at the core, and what a giving, sweet person you are, kind and generous person.
Well, the thing about it is that I have been given a gift. I was blessed with a gift, and my gift is to use it and to spread joy and happiness to people. And when you do that, you get more than what you give, and that's the whole thing. Just to bring joy and peace to a world now that really needs a lot of joy and peace. So I'm happy to do what I do.
Amen to that. Now, speaking of being born with a gift, how old were you, would you say, when keyboard really made an impact on you to the point where you thought, man, I have to get my hands on this thing?
Well, I started at 6, and for about the first 5 years I hated it because I didn't want to practice. you know, and all my friends were out there playing baseball and football, and I'm at the piano hating what I'm playing, and it was not happening. But when I turned about 11, I formed a little combo, 3 pieces, a drummer, Mike Biondo, a guitar player, Richard Lippy, and myself, and we played for my 8th grade graduation. And ever since that feeling of my peers enjoying what we were doing, we only knew 3 songs, but we played them the whole night, and they didn't care, and we didn't care. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. So when I got that taste of excitement that music gives the people that you're playing it for, I was hooked. So,
Remember those 3 songs?
I remember one of them was Honky Tonk.
Right on.
The other 2 I don't remember, but you know. And then after that, that was my 8th grade, and then I went into my freshman year, and that's when the surf deal happened.
Right.
So I was like 13.
So you and Mike and
The original lineup was myself, Mike Biondo on drums.
I'm sorry, back to St. Mary's.
Oh, St. Mary's.
Yeah, like so you guys are basically in Catholic school, right? Catholic grammar school.
Yep, St. Mary's.
You guys meet. How did you guys connect and realize that you were music guys?
Because Mike Biondo was my best friend. So we were like brothers. We hung out with each other. We played baseball with each other. We spent the night. You know, we were good buds. We were best buds, and that's how that started. So.
And did you guys learn together? Were you kind of like getting better at your instruments and training and learning alongside one another?
Actually, you know what it was? It was like a jam. It was a jam session. You know, we were just, you know, feeling each other, what we did, the chords, you know, that we played, and we just had fun, just playing. And then we picked up this friend of ours who was a guitar player, and so, you know, his name was Richard Lippy. So the original people that I played with was Mike Biondo and Richard Lippy and myself, and so we were the ones that formed the trio that played for my 8th grade graduation. So.
And at that point, were you guys the Vogues yet?
Not yet. Not
okay.
Yet. Yeah. No.
Because that was the first incarnation, right?
Right.
The first band was the Vogues.
Right. Yeah.
And when did that come about?
You know what? I tell you, it's been such a long time.
Was it after the dance?
It probably could have been.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you guys do the 8th grade dance, and you realize, whoa, we have something here. We can really make this work.
Right.
And so you keep doing it, and you decide, all right, let's pursue it, let's do more. And then what was the next big opportunity that happened?
After that, you know, this is a long time ago, so there's really shaking some brain cells.
Yeah, but you know what? You have a lot more than most, so that's a good thing.
But after that, I think I just went right in. We went right into the surf deal. I remember I got let me tell you how I got the name.
Yeah.
The reason I got the name was there was a great song in 1960 called "Image of a Girl," and "Image of a Girl" was made by the Surfaris, S.A. And I liked the song a lot. And so when we got into this surf situation, I said, wow, Surfaris would be a great name. So that's how I got the Surfari name, was from that song, "Image of a Girl" by the Surfaris. And then from there, you know, Mike Biondo, my drummer, and we added some players, Larry Weed on the guitar, and Doug Wiseman on sax, and Bobby Esco on guitar, and we practiced in Mike Biondo's father's garage, or it was my mom's garage. So It was either one.
And was that in Fullerton?
Yes.
Okay.
They were both in Fullerton.
See, it's a total local hero story. I'm telling you, all this comes back around and circles around Orange County constantly, and I think that's such a cool part of the story too.
Yeah, there were a lot of great people that played and came out of Orange County, and I was privileged to work with a lot of them and to know a lot of them personally. So, you know, it's been a long road. I mean, I've been doing this for 68 years. It's a long time. The only time I've ever stopped was for approximately maybe 2 months. You know,
wow.
Other than that, that was because of an injury. But I've been blessed with good health, and like I say, you know, I still do now, and for the last 7 or 8 years, I work about 300 jobs a year.
That's incredible.
I still do that.
Wow.
So, and what, you know, the music nowadays, I do a lot of nice restaurants. I do 3 restaurants a week in,
wow.
in Newport Beach and by the airport, John Wayne, and then the remaining time I devote to my senior citizens. So
incredible. One of my favorite origin stories, or opportunity stories, is, and this also ties back into another kind of local tradition, right? So in Southern California, and I'll ask, how many people remember, the local station KCOP, Channel 13?
Yes.
Right? I mean, this was like a staple of our childhood. I think everybody grows up watching these little local stations and their quirky little, specialty programs. So on KCOP, back in that era, right, early 60s, there was a variety show.
Yes.
It was like a Mexican variety show.
Mexican variety show, yes.
Right? And from what I understand, your family used to watch, right?
Yes,
So your mom was watching,
yeah.
and they were advertising, hey, let us know if you know anybody that we could feature on the show.
Exactly, yeah.
And what happened?
And so we made a call, got a connection, and I think the guy's name was Iglesias. The last name was Iglesias. I don't remember the first name, but we went on that show, and we did so well on that show as far as the response that they had us back for about, I'd say at least 4 or 5 times. And every time that we would play on that show, we got better and better responses. So, yeah, that was something. And I'm talking about.
You guys were young, right?
Like I was 12, 13 years old.
That's so cool. I mean, what a thing for a 13-year-old kid, to be like a famous TV musician.
But back then we didn't realize the situation or what it was, except we were playing, and we didn't really even feel the pressure or the fact that they were taping us, and we were being seen by a lot of people. It just it was the idea that we were playing music that we liked.
We were just purely having fun,
yeah,
right? Running on adrenaline and that camaraderie. I think one of the most important elements is that you guys were friends first, right? Like I always say this to people, that the best bands are always ones that begin out of friendships rather than the other way around. If you try and start it as musicians or as professionals or whatever, it's never the same. There's something about connecting as human beings first and then playing music that it hits in a different way. It's everything comes together in a different way, and there's a different kind of bond. And I think probably part of the reasons behind your success was that you guys had that core, that closeness from being friends in grammar school and having gone through other things before that. And then it was like, oh yeah, well, we were friends first and then we did that. And I think that probably carried through rather than just being some business contract or something,
Yeah.
And also, at that important age when you guys are 12, 13 and just coming into yourselves and finding out who you are, then when you share that together, that also imprints on what happens later.
But another thing that I found out that when you have a band, you are a very, very popular guy. And the girls love band members, right?
Always the girls.
Yeah.
Always the girls.
Exactly. So you you got your own band and you're fronting a band and you're playing here and there, you got all the girls right up in front. And hey, we love girls. I love girls. So it was a win-win situation, because not only did you get the best-looking girls, but you got paid on top. So
That's great. So, you guys are on the show, right? Doing regular appearances on the show, getting reactions. People are getting excited about you guys. And one particular person pays attention to this show and you guys, right? Victor Regina?
Yeah.
Victor Regina?
Victor Regina.
Victor Regina sees you guys.
Right, and he owned a pizza place. He was a pizza owner, and he came in and kind of took us under his wing, and he got us some recording time from an engineer that was in LA. The guy's name was Ted Brinson, and I remember we went to his studio and we recorded a lot of stuff there. But it was through Regina that we got the recording aspect of it.
And was he good to you guys? Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Because sometimes you hear these stories, like we've done the interview in the past where people talk about, particularly Will Glover and the Pyramids had a notorious conflict with, their so-called manager who was taking money, and so you guys had a good experience with him.
Yeah, we had all the free pizza we could eat.
And girls, pizza,
and girls,
what a life.
Pizza, and wait, let's party, right?
That's awesome. And at that point, you were still the Vogues.
Yes.
And
Yes.
was it his suggestion that you change your name?
You know what? That's unclear.
Okay.
I don't know,
But at some point, the name went to was it the Chancellors?
No. No, I don't know the succession of.
There was another name at some point.
But pardon me?
The
The customs, yes, the customs. You're right. You're right. Hey, she knows more than I.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, I didn't get my thing, so.
All right.
The customs, briefly.
Right.
And so you guys are playing, things are revving up, you're doing recordings,
Right.
You're experiencing all of this. Now, at some point, the Deauville competition comes up,
Right.
right?
Right.
Now, how much of an impact did that have on you guys? And can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Now that was a battle of the bands.
Yeah.
Yes. It was intimidating because there were some very, very good bands there, and we were one of them, and we just went out there and played our hearts out, and people liked what we did.
Is everybody familiar? Do you guys know about the Deauville Castle? No? Okay. So up the coast in Santa Monica in the West LA, right on the beach, there used to be this incredible building. It was like a big castle. And they called it the Deauville Castle Beach Club. And it was a big ballroom, really high end. And they started to do, as the surf music started to get more and more popular, and they realized, wow, these kids are really coming to these shows. They started to do this battle of the bands. And they would have many, many, many bands show up and literally duke it out live, and there would be a winner at the end of the night, and they actually pressed these records. They made records of some of the live recordings. In fact, one of my favorite versions of Moment of Truth is on one of those Deauville recordings.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moment of Truth.
And so this was, there were so many bands happening at the time also that it was very special and rare that you got invited. And indeed, you guys got invited. You're on the bill. You kind of made it in a way. And how do you feel about how you guys played? How was your performance? How was that for you guys being in?
It was just to be in the presence of all these great groups, and there were some very good groups. When you're playing in that situation, it seems like for me, it elevates you to play better. You know, you play better when you're amongst good players, and I had some good players with me. I was fortunate to have a great guitarist. The drummer Mike was a great drummer. We had a good rapport, and he laid down a good beat, and it just seemed that everything clicked. You know, and you get those feelings where everything is sounding good and you're not making any major mistakes or bad chords or whatever, and you know, it just it felt good, and you know, everything worked out okay.
And the other cool thing to mention, I don't think we made enough of a point of this, is that you guys not only had your traditional surf lineup, you know, everybody needs guitars, bass, and drums, but obviously there was piano augmenting and adding layers, and saxophone.
That's
This is the other thing about original Surfaris, is you guys were like a show band. You had so much going on,
Yeah.
and were creating such a thick sound and so many layers.
That's what I liked about the situation, is that I introduced, and it was not on purpose, it just happened. But you're right, there was I mean, how many surf bands, the very first surf bands, had a piano player, or they had a piano player and a sax player? Not many. There were not many that did that, but the original Surfaris were one of the bands that did that. And it almost kind of makes me feel, now that I think about it, it was kind of like Sly and the Family Stone, only surf music. Because no, if you figure Sly and the Family Stone, they had girls. Remember, they had a girl drummer, you know, a girl trumpet player. I mean, they had a different lineup than you would normally expect. So, in a way, it was kind of not the music quality, but I'm talking about adding different instruments to the regular surf lineup.
Yeah, amazing, man. I love that. That's a great analogy. Now I'm always going to think about Sly when I'm listening to original Surfaris. Now, I have to ask this. I know this might be, we have to get into, you know, what happened, because
I got it, yeah,
right,
yeah.
we have to talk about it, as much as it might be a sore spot still.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
it is
really still.
Yeah, it's still, yeah.
Because, okay, the momentum's building, opportunities are growing, you guys are getting tighter, you guys are getting better, things are happening, things are flowing, and then you hear a particular song on the radio. Was that like when the bomb dropped? That was like when?
Yes.
So you guys are listening to the radio and you hear a song on the radio,
Right.
which was
Wipeout.
Wipeout.
Right.
By
But Surfaris.
the Surfaris.
Right.
Now, I can't even imagine what you guys felt. How would you describe that reaction?
We felt totally elated, saying that, wow, our song is being played on the radio and people are liking it. And it was, I mean, it was like we were walking on clouds. I mean, it was that euphoric. But little did we know, because we had we thought it was our song. And what would happen was that you go into the studio and they would cut this, cut that, do whatever, and piece it together. And the song that you thought you had done in the studio turns out to be a little bit different than how you originally played it. Back then. Well, I don't know if they do it probably now, but whatever.
Oh, they still do that, sure.
But anyway, we sincerely thought that it was our composition. And then we find out that it was not our composition. And it was a real eye-opener, because the fact that we had the name, I had made up the name first. We had the name first. And the other Surfaris, they had they had that song. So we were in a dilemma of who is going to have the right to that particular name. So what they did was, and this was not, we were not privy because we were kids. This was all done by adults, you know, the whatever. But the bottom line was that they came up with the fact that they would have, I mean, that was their song by the Surfaris, but they said you can be called the original Surfaris. So that's how that's a short. So, but what happened? Let me tell you. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
What happened was that we, at school and people that you know were you know friends, they felt kind of like we got alienated because they thought we were fakes and we were liars and we were saying that we were this and that. And I went through a lot of stuff in high school because, you know, of being told that well, why did you say this, or why didn't you claimed that was your song and it wasn't your song. So yeah, there was a lot of ridicule and there was a lot of baloney. So yeah.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like.
And I was like 14 or 15, you know, and
yeah,
you take those things very serious at that age.
Sure. And I mean, not to throw salt on the wound, but I just can't imagine. So imagine that Delphi releases Bambora backed with Surfari, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, many of us in this room, especially us in this room, would be hard pressed to find better first wave songs. I mean, those two songs a lot of people say, could be in the top of the pantheon of surf songs of all time, right? So you come out with this single. Delphi puts out the single in, I think it was 63, right?
Right.
63, you got your single. And it's on Delphi. You're like, oh my God, we have this single. And that's when the lawsuit hit, and they pulled it.
Yeah.
So you're like, man, our record's coming out, we're rocking, everything's firing. Lawsuit happens, and they pulled a single. And that must have just, you know, knocked the wind out of all your sails and just...
Well, like I said, we were kids, okay, so we didn't know the impact of what was going on because it was done by adults, by our parents. Our parents, they didn't really know what they were doing. They were trying to do the best for us, so they cut the best deal that they could for us as parents. But, you know, like I say, we were not privy to what was happening when it was happening. So.
And how, I'm sure everybody handled it in their own different way, but how did you come back from that? How do you pick yourself, how do you kind of, you know, brush away and pick yourself back up and say, all right, let's get back on the horse?
It took a lot. It took a lot of us to get back on track, on focus. Because when you get knocked down a couple times in a fight, and I mean you take some good hits, it's really hard to get yourself up and to continue fighting. It's very hard, and that's how I felt, like a Rocky that gets knocked down and keeps coming back up, gets knocked down again. It's hard. It's very hard. But you know, the thing is, I still, even now, I still have the fire in my belly for music.
That's the testimony. Even after that, which would have probably just destroyed the spirit of most musicians, right? You just, okay, I'm out. That's it. Forget it. What am I doing? You came back from that and continued to have a 68-year-long career, which is absolutely unbelievable and commendable and respectable.
Well, like I said, you know, I did this because one thing I'm going to share with you, and I don't share this with very many people. But I lost my father at a very young age. My dad died at 40 years old. He died of a brain tumor in 1966. And it was, at that time, there was no way to repair or to operate where his tumor was. He died on a Saturday morning. Saturday night, I had a gig. And I said, Mom, I can't do it. I can't play. My mom looked at me and she said, you know what, Al? You're going to play. You owe it to your dad to get up there and play. And that was probably the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, was to get up there and to do the gig after losing your father in the morning. But that's what my mom instilled in us. My mom she's still alive. My mom will be 98 this year.
Wow.
And I tell you, they don't make them like that anymore. She's a little old mamacita that used to make the tamales and the great tacos and whatever she could to get money to get lessons, piano lessons for me. And I love her dearly. I got all my talent from her, from the singing to the playing, because she played the piano and she was a singer in the choir. So, yeah, amazing.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a really incredible story. And again, testimony to your strength of character, to be able to go through something like that and have that integrity to press on is so inspiring. And really, like you said, we need that today more than ever in our daily lives and whatever we're out there doing, whatever it is. It's inspiring to everybody.
It is, because especially nowadays, we're here because we love surf music, we love what it's all about, but like I say, we just have to keep positive. That's the key, is to keep positive, not to give up, and to follow your heart. And if you do that and make everybody happy, there's too much sadness in this situation, in this world. We just have to go around with, like now and then I'll drive down the road and you see so many people that are so down and out as far as, homelessness, whatever. There's many times that I'll pull over and stop and I'll talk to them for a second or two or whatever. And if I have any money in my pocket, I'll give it to them. Because you know what? We're all in the same boat, man. Come on, we got to love one another and really truly mean it, because you're not going to take the money when you die, Elon Musk. What are you going to do when you die and you're a trillionaire? Are you going to take the money with you? Did you figure out a way how you're going to be immortal? No. You make people happy with what you can give them. And if you can't give them money, give them love. Seriously. That's what you do.
Amen. Well said. Well said. Actually, I can't think of a better way to kind of wrap it up. And, as we do, we look to take questions from the audience. If anyone has any super geeky questions or not.
What kind of keyboard did you play?
The first one that I ever played was a Wurlitzer piano, an old Wurlitzer with the reeds, and I played them so hard that I'd snap reeds like crazy. I was snapping reeds like after every gig.
Right. For people that don't understand, a Wurlitzer actually was touch sensitive.
Yeah.
It was actually almost like a percussion instrument. So yeah, it's keys, but it very touch sensitive. And after you banging that thing night after night, yeah, I can see how that would happen.
And then I switched over to a Farfisa organ, a red Farfisa organ. And then from there I went to a 73 key stage Rhodes, Fender Rhodes. Yeah. I like Fender Rhodes is nice. It was nice. And then now I play a grand piano. So, but,
Moving up the ladder.
Yeah. Questions? Anybody else? Jeff?
What were some of the venues in Orange County that you played at? Really?
Let's see. Retail Clerks in Buena Park. We played at Harmony Park in Anaheim. We played the Rendezvous. Let's see. There were probably a couple. There's several others, but those are the ones that I remember.
All the important ones, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were there any bands that you played with more often? You know, that colleagues, like you were sharing the stage a lot at that time?
Not so much, but there were bands that I really admired, and one of them was called the Sentinels.
Oh yeah.
The Sentinels were a good group. I like, and the ones that did they do Delano Soul Beat? I don't know if there was a song called Delano Soul Beat, and that was a good group. You know, this to me right now is so surreal because I don't feel that I belong here, sitting with a great friend of mine, you know, who did our songs in the 2016 Guitar 101.
Yeah, we realized this morning that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When we did the originals, you know, we do the tributes. We did an original Surfaris tribute,
Yeah.
and Al was kind enough to play and be there, and it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Do it again.
It's crazy.
Next year.
Absolutely crazy. But you know what? Along those lines of a sort of modern appreciation of you guys, I have to ask this, because I've always wondered, when Sundays decided to release Bombora the best of, right? Like, which had at that point hadn't been released. So in '95, all of a sudden you people start telling you, hey, this label's releasing an album of original Surfaris material. How did you guys react to that? What was that like for you?
Well, to be real honest with you, I didn't know. I did not know, you know, what anybody was doing with our material, and unfortunately, that's the downside of many groups, you know, that.
I should say when you first became aware of it, like when you saw that CD for the first time, what was the reaction? What was the reaction like?
Okay, the reaction was I didn't honestly feel that there was a market still going on around the world for the original Surfari music. I felt, you know, it was great back then, but it is such a high for me now to think that some people throughout the world are still liking what a 13 and 14-year-old guy did back then.
It's a shock, right? It's just a total shock.
It is, because, like I say, we were kids having fun. And nowadays, the music that's out nowadays, and the lyrics and all these things, I just go, whoa, what? Wait a second. You know, what's going on? Where's the talent? You know, I mean, when you hear people screaming and that's all they do, or play one note and you figure, this isn't music. This is just noise. You know, this is not a melody.
Or it's a fashion show.
Yeah, exactly. But we back then, actually, there were melodies. You know, there were bridges. You know, there were choruses. You know, there were verses.
And along with that, you guys had an energy. I mean, there was a high energy. You guys were almost like proto-metal. It was so, you know, it was so intense and it was so high energy. And I know a lot of us talk about those kinds of bands, that we were drawn to those kinds of bands in the original era, that really high energy thing. And I mean, you know, I can't tell you how often I go back to Moment of Truth, Bombora, Safari, and just, it's almost like an obsession. There's just that there's something to it that is on such a different level of intensity and energy from, say, you know, something more sleepy, like, oh, there's like a quiet pipeline over here, you know, kind of spooky, kind of minor, it's quiet. And then here's original Surfaris just pounding, I mean, just absolutely rocking your butts off.
You know, a lot of that had to do with Mike Biondo, our drummer. Mike Biondo almost was like a surf Keith Moon of the Who. Remember? I mean, this guy was an animal. He was crazy. But what he did was so high energy and made so much good sense in the Who. It was amazing. That's the comparison that I had with Mike Biondo. He was that kind of a drummer, and unfortunately, I lost him a couple of years ago. He passed away of a heart attack, and like I say, he was a very special guy. He was.
Had you guys kept in contact?
Yes, we did. Yeah,
that's awesome too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. The only and then we added a bass player, Jim Tran, who I still keep in contact with. Jim Tran moved years ago to Mexico, so he lives in a kind of like a place where a lot of
like an expat
yes,
place?
yes, exactly. Yeah, so
that's so cool that you guys still talk.
Yes,
that's great. Yeah, I mean, you guys, I can't tell you what an inspiration for us listening to that music. It's just, you guys it's such a special band. It's such a different and special band. You can put that on, you know, everybody says, oh, that surf stuff all sounds the same. Not the original Surfaris. I mean, instantly you can tell it's you guys, and you have an unmistakable sound, and it's still infectious to this day. It's unbelievable. Matt?
Is Mike the guy screaming at the top of the ball?
yes. Oh yeah, that was him. Yeah. But no, anyway, like I say, it's an honor to be with these guys here. Matt, just with the question there, and Jonpaul and my friend Mr. Hansen. You know, I keep in touch with these guys, and Duff, the drummer. All these guys are very, very good friends of mine, and I love them dearly. They're good people.
We love you too, and we thank you so much for being here and sharing your life and inspiration and your stories with all of us today, pal. It's a true pleasure, true privilege. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.